And just because I'm pretty slim, I thought I could eat everything. And that's not the case. I was fat on the inside and maybe slim on the outside, but there was a lot of stuff wrong with me.
We're going to talk to the Nick from Nick's Ice Cream. We're going to hear about Nick's Ice Cream a few different times this week, and we're integrating with them in a lot of really cool ways. But this is the first of many. So Nick, I'm going to spotlight you. Are you ready to be front and center?
Oh yeah.
Born ready.
Take off my glasses. I look
I like the glasses
without them. Huh?
No, I like that. I can wear my glasses too. My blue blocking glasses. It's so great to have you on. Thank you for being here.
No, thanks. Thanks for inviting me. It was a little bit cumbersome to get on the link, but now, all right.
We did it. We did it, right? I mean, Zoom is hard. Zoom is hard. It's a Zoomy world. So today, in this session, first we'll chat with Nick, and then we'll talk through a couple of Swedish concepts that keep us well. Nick has a very busy day, so he'll leave us for that. And then we'll jump into some journaling with Today I Did It Right. And we'll hear from Ariel Upton, who is the co-founder of Today I Did It Right. Does that sound good to you guys? Thumbs up if that sounds good to you. I can see you in the little windows. Sounds great to Glenn. Nick, I'm going to count you as a yes. So Nick, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, then I'll jump into some slides. Does that sound okay?
All righty.
All righty. Okay, cool. Well, first of all, we're just very grateful to have you here. We're very grateful to be eating the ice cream you created this week. Can you talk to us about Nick's and why you created it?
Oh, really easy. It's one of these things that came out of just realizing that I had to do something. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I've never had a job in my whole life. I've been self-supporting from the age of 18, always seeing stuff that could be done better or that I have to do for myself. Sometimes it's just, you can't stop something. I have to do it. And in my family, we get diabetes very early. My mom got it when she was about my age. I was about to get it. So, I mean, you can know when you have pre-diabetes, and my doctor said, yeah, you have pre-diabetes. And I really started learning about nutrition, and I think I read like 50,000 pages. We're scientists in my family, so we approach things very scientifically. And I learned that you can completely reverse this condition, and I did. And when you start to do diet interventions, good things happen. A lot of these keto diets are also inflammatory. It's not just to keep weight or deal with your insulin sensitivity. What I really, the biggest benefit for me that I really felt was that I've had back pain and joint pain and things. And I've been on medication for 20 years, and I've never taken a pill since after already a month. I could drop my my anti-inflammatory medicine that I've been taking as far as I can remember, because the diet was so much better. I mean, I was a sugar junkie before, and just because I'm pretty slim, I thought I could eat everything, and that's not the case. I was fat on the inside and maybe slim on the outside, but there was a lot of stuff wrong with me. And yeah, that's how it all started. And I started making stuff for me and my mom. And I actually, at the time, I was CEO at another company I started, but I just realized that food, I mean, this industry is fascinating. And just because I'm pretty slim, I thought I could eat everything. And that's not the case. I was fat on the inside and maybe slim on the outside, but there was a lot of stuff wrong with me. And yeah, that's how it all started. And I started making stuff for me and my mom. And I actually, at the time, I was CEO at another company I started, but I just realized that food, I mean, this industry is fascinating. It's so many things for an entrepreneur that you can, so many sides of it. And I love factories and producing things. I want to make real things. I was in electronics before, and food is even more senses. I mean, it smells, it tastes. I mean, and I love to make lots of food. Sorry if it sounds like I'm not this artisan guy that kind of cooks something. I do that when we develop the ice creams. I do maybe I do like just half a gallon or something, but then when you make them, you do hundreds of thousands of pints, and I kind of I really like that factory environment. Even if I'm media, I should be media trained to say that everything is so artisan. I mean, you have to make it right. Otherwise, you cannot have an impact for a lot of people's life. If I make like 500 ice creams, we have to do them by the millions. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and you have a lot of flavors, right? Like there are, what, 16 flavors?
Yeah, that's the fun part. It's me and a guy called Eric Lennartson that developed the ice creams. And Eric has now over 300 flavors under his belt. So I only have about 25 under my belt because we have the Swedish ones.
Oh, yes.
So I have a lot of catching up to do. So 16 is, that's a pretty good start in the US. I probably have another 10 in the making right now. So some interesting stuff coming.
Very exciting. And if you guys can't tell yet, the theme of today is very much Swedish. Not because we just picked it out of thin air, but because Nicks as a brand started in Sweden, and Niclas is from Sweden as well. And one of the concepts we're talking about today, Nick, is lagom. Can you say that better than I can?
Lagom.
Lagom. That's so much better. Can you talk about what it is, and we'll talk more about it when Ariel and I start chatting, and how it applies to ice cream?
Yeah, I think lagom is very, very much something that has to do with the ice cream that we make. I mean, we call it Swedish-style light ice cream. And ice cream, as we know it from when we were kids, is very far from lagom. Ice cream is too much of everything. It's wonderful to eat, but it's basically all the bad stuff you can pack in it and too much of everything. A little bit maybe exaggerated. So what we are doing at Nicks, we apply food science because it's a lot of science that goes into this. And it's happening a lot of good things with food science right now. I mean, we have lots of good things happening with vegan and everything. But the way to make it lagom is to take out as much as possible of the bad stuff and make it balanced so you can eat it every day. And it's pretty lagom to me to have this balance of healthy ingredients in an ice cream. So that rhymes really well with our Swedish style concept we're doing.
I love it. And we'll talk more about the concept of lagom, which I'm going to continue to not say as beautifully as Nick until the end of time. But let's also talk about happiness. One of the things we love at A Sweat Life is the World Happiness Index, and just happiness in general. And Sweden is number 7 on the World Happiness Index. What are the values? What is it about Sweden that makes people so happy? It's not particularly hot there. Like, what is it?
I have really good answers to this. I think a lot of it has to do with we feel pretty equal in Sweden. I mean, in all the companies I've been running, people have been generally I think, very happy to work in our companies, and because they feel like even if you were hired 2 days ago and you're working in the warehouse, you can go into the managers and tell them that, hey guys, you're doing something wrong out there. And when I've been CEO, I had so many meetings with people that just came in from the warehouse and said that you can improve by doing this or that. And I'm not sure that in the US it's that casual. And also, I think the quality of people is, I think our general standard of education, I have to say this, is very, very good. I think in the US, a lot of people lag in education. And that's really what makes Sweden great, that I can have these conversations with people at all levels in the company, and they all share interests, like talk a little bit about politics, talk a little bit about this, about that, and they always seem to be well informed about things. And in the US, the market is gigantic. There's a lot of people. You can be more focused on one thing. We have to be generalists, and I think that makes you happy, knowing a little bit of everything.
I like that. I like the idea of being a generalist too. That's very lagom. A little bit of everything, not too much, not too little. We're going to jump into the concepts to make sure that we give Ariel enough time to journal. Nick, is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to Nick's ice cream, or when it comes to Sweden and happiness, before we do that?
Yeah, I think this ice cream is going to make a lot of people happy. Because I mean, we kicked out 75% of the calories, and it's just getting better. Every flavor we put out there now, we have all this stuff and all that. So that's a little bit of marketing of our own thing. But at least for me, when I started in the food business, it's been such a journey between flavors and textures and things. I'm a science guy, so I make it very scientific, but it's so much joy with food. I think all these aspects, I mean, so much more fun than electronics, I can tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, food is love, and food is conversation and gathering. I totally agree. Nick, it was so wonderful to have you.